Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Howdy, howdy! I am doing just great. I'm super excited for today's race. Marina Bay is one of those tracks where anything can happen. Probably a safety car, so I'm very excited.
What is up, guys? My name is Ben, otherwise known as Teammate Marduk, and today you join me for an AOR Hype Energy F1 League hot lap around the Singapore Grand Prix. Today we're on board with Tino Nikarinen in the Williams F1 car, heading into turn 1, braking at the 100-meter board, turning in very early there to maximise just the track width around the Singapore Grand Prix. Very tight for space. You want to maximise as much of that as possible. Heading into turn number 5 there, as you see the curbing on the left, that's when you want to brake. Nice flowing exit now onto this very short back straight where opportunities to overtake are very limited. Braking now for the 150-meter board. Turn in, 4th gear, actually 3rd he takes it to get the nose in. Now braking for this 90-degree set of corners. 2nd gear, short shifting up to 3rd, then 4th, down shifting to 3rd. Using up all the track width to maximise that exit. Now heading to the old Singapore sling, which was sadly removed a few years ago. Much more flowing now. Swing the car in left before you swing right. Important to hit the curbing there right, otherwise the car can get spat out towards the wall, and that's not what you want. Through to the hairpin now. Nice rotation through there. Short shifting up through the gears now onto this back straight. Nice overtaking area in the race as we brake at the 100-meter board. Late apex on the power nice and early. Don't extend too much to the left or that will be a disallowed lap. Braking now into the 3rd sector. Very technical part of the lap and where you can win or lose a lot of time. Now braking now for this stadium grandstand section. Again, really testing on the mechanical grip. All 2nd and 3rd gear corners through here. Nice exit. Try and kiss that curbing and also kiss the wall on the right hand side. Through to the final corner.
Well, first thing I must say about this is that Nameless's teammate, Kimi Larson, is not here this week, so you'll have a clean race, as some might say, a very easy one, championship-wise, since his rival will not be there. It's probably the only thing I can say about that. Myself. I don't hear you. Yeah, because you're talking during this point. No, you aren't. I can hear you through my headphones, but not through the stream. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as we get these technical difficulties figured out right now, as we're on board with Ake as he goes through the Singapore Sling. Well, what used to be the Singapore Sling on these Hypersoft tires right now. So I'll let you test that out. But Ake flying down this long back straight. Singapore not really known for its long straights and high speed sections, so there's a lot of draft coming out. Oh no, Ake into the outside, just into the runoff, hard on the brakes, and very unfortunate for Ake right there. It's definitely going to ruin those tires and just get back on to it. And probably going to go into the pits and fix up those tires and just go on to another thing. Hypersofts are probably not the softs you want to go for. So let's take a look at somebody on their outlap. Let's take a look at Nebula. Huh? Oh, I'm talking. What do you mean? I'm showing them then. I'm not. No, they can't. You're streaming. Just do a quick test for me. Technical issues enough to always happen.
Oh, hello. I'm back now. That was strange. Right, let's get the stream back up and running, people. I'm so sorry for that. I don't quite know what happened. Discord, OBS decided to forget that my mic existed. But we are back now. Currently looking at AOR Nebula on the Hypersoft tyres. And again, he's currently on a flying lap, as we can see, as he has his ERS onto number 5. I'm pretty sure I'm back, Austin. I'm sure you can confirm, or the chat if you can confirm as well. That'd be absolutely fabulous.
We are back. We are back.
Wow, that's just fantastic. You don't want to listen to an American streaming the entire time. That would be awful. So,
hey, wait a minute.
Ah, I love you, really. Right, let's have a look then. So, currently at the top of the timing sheets, we have VSR I Nameless with a 133.399. Maybe we won't hit the highs of the 132s like I expected. We shall have to see how things progress, though, as the stream continues on. So I say we're on board with Nebula. That Renault getting out of his way. Let's see when he comes.
They come through under the bay, and then underneath the highways, the grip in this situation is very low as he comes very close to that wall and actually going to dive into the pits. Doesn't want to do a lap on those Hypersoft tires. Probably going to go for the Ultra Softs to go for that longer first stint, because the Hypersofts have the lifespan of a paper in a fire, honestly.
They do. Let's just have a quick look at VP Koldo now. Is he going to complete this lap? He's just coming through. No, he's also jumped into the pits. And let's have a look and try and find someone who isn't in the pits right now. Actually, while we are here, let's go through some of the name changes that you will see on the stream. VSR Collis, the McLaren that I'm currently showing you, as VSR Muller goes in with a 130.30 to take provisional pole position. VSR Collis has come in as a replacement for Veloce James, who's moved himself up into Split 1. We have a random name change for the man who's currently sitting in 16th. That is Smeege, who then changed his name to VSR James, who has now turned his name into the Soviet LOL bus for whatever reason. So that is who that is. And Austin,
I think he's a racer early. I believe he's a racer early.
Oh, okay.
Russia.
Oh, of course, yeah. That would make a lot of sense. Maybe he's preparing himself for the Russian Grand Prix. Either way, Austin, you know about the man currently sitting in 9th, RR Pony, I'm sure.
Yeah, Ipony, or RR Ipony, that is from a different online league that he races in, and I commentate. Good racer, good friend. I'm not supposed to talk about the other league because that's what Dan's told me not to do, but
no, that's absolutely fine. So he's an experienced racer, and we're looking forward to seeing how he gets on in this league. So then, let's have a look and try and find someone who is currently on a flying lap.
He's on a outlap.
He's on an outlap. You're not on a flying lap. Let's have a look. Is Matthias on a flying lap? He's on 3 on his ERS. He might be. Either way, then I'm sure Austin can find. He's on a flying lap. He's now he's switching it between 3 and 4 on the old ERS. Let's see exactly how he does then as he goes through one of the. I think the trickiest section of corners is that just as you come into the hairpin, very easy to lose the car and completely destroy it on that right-hand side barrier there. That's it. Then I think he's coming to the end of Sector 2 now. He set a 26.9. There's no split coming up, which implies to me that this lap may be invalidated. But I'm not entirely sure, as he's currently on a 36.6, which is way off the pace. But let's have a look then and see what he does. He comes through the final couple of corners. You just see how close the drivers get to the walls here in Singapore, and those walls are certainly very deadly. These cars just don't like beer. Oh, and there is a wall. That is a wall that has been hit, but he's going to continue the lap. Let's have a look as he comes across the line. It doesn't look like it's a particularly fast one. Does put him in 5th for the time being, though. Yeah, 134.3. Still over a second off the pace of VSR Muller in 1st, though.
Yeah, Matthias going up to 5th in those ultra soft tires. That wall has been hit so many times in real life. It actually sparks sometimes, and some people nickname that wall Sparky. I'm not making that up. That's actually a thing.
I can imagine it definitely is. On board with VP Mr. Anchor at the moment, currently sitting in 7th with a 135.7. A lot of these laps seem to have either been throwaway laps or banker laps that the drivers have chosen to complete. To see how close he gets to that wall then as he comes into the hairpin, dropping it down all the way down to 1st, and then we're coming up through the gears then as he looks to complete this lap. Let's have a look then as he comes to the end of Sector 2, setting a 26.1, again not showing me a sector split time compared to how he's done previously, as that Haas gets right out of his way there very nicely. These chicanes are so horrible to throw the car around. The car is designed to be flying down straights at 200 miles an hour, not for being sort of thrashed right and left in these great chicanes. Have a look at this one, riding the curbs quite well. He's now going to come through the final corner. Doesn't look like it's going to be as... Oh, actually, it might be quite fast. Coming over the top of the crest of the hill. It's a 33.5. Into the 33s.
Nice job from Mr. Anchor right there. There's a McLaren parked in the... Oh, he's just coming out of the pits. I guess he was just waiting for Mr. Anchor to pass. I was riding on board. I saw McLaren up there just stopped. I was like, oh, no, this could be good. But yeah, you were saying with the cars switching from right to left to right to left, you would expect a lot of tank slappers to happen, and if that does, that just upsets everything about it, because this track has a lot of flow in it, and if one thing just upsets you, like there's a lap car in the way, or you're just have a tank slapper, or you lock up a wheel, it's just so hard to recover back and get back into the race.
I think VSR James, or the Soviet LOL bus, as he decided to call himself this weekend, has just slotted himself into 7th, into the 34s. You will see a variety of tyre choices by the drivers this evening, as the Hypersofts really do not last that long, which implies that this, they will last possibly 4, maybe even maximum 5 laps of the 32-lap race we have this evening. So I would be surprised if I'm actually surprised so many drivers are on the Hypersofts, to be honest. I expected more to you, the Ultrasofts, because if we prematurely look actually at the strategy that we expect the drivers to do this evening, we expect them to start on the Ultrasofts and pit from lap 9, and then, or either start on the softs that they have free tyre choice and go to about lap 20. So it's going to be, and the Hypersofts, they probably will have to pit twice. So it's going to be a very interesting choice of strategy for the drivers tonight.
around lap 8 is when you should start to see the Hypersofts needing to pit, or way before lap 8, honestly, like lap 7, lap 6, because I was watching a race earlier today where a guy on the Hypers tried to take 8 laps and his back end swung around and actually hit the pit box. He wasn't even trying to pit, but he was running around without a front wing for that entire lap, and that definitely ruined his race. He ended up winning this race, though, because the speed that guy had was insane. But if you are the Hypersofts, you're expected to do a ultra soft double stop, or you might throw it onto the softs, as I was on board with THM right there, and he was locked up and completely missed that. That's an invalidated lap. As cars are retiring left and right now, for a minute 20 seconds, it's crunch time.
Interesting. ERL Matthias is retired, and those ultra softs are 3 laps old already. So he might have some quite old tyres going into the race. The tyres that he set that 134.2 on.
I think he's banking that he's going to fall down the order, but that's a pretty risky gamble. That
is a gamble. He'll be potentially risking that he thinks he's going to qualify in about P11. Which is ideally what he wants, as he'll have free tyre choice. Hyper's about to come across the line. That this may have been a banker lap. Either way, he puts himself... Oh, I think it was invalidated, indeed. So that's a bit of a...
He's got 42 seconds to try to top that, but I don't think he wants to.
I'm not sure. He's currently sitting in P10, indeed. Let's have a look and see. Is anyone else currently on a flying lap? Matthias is going very...
THM is setting up.
THM is setting up. I'm just going to go through the field. Is Seen on a flying lap? I think he's just about to start one. He's gone into P4 for the time being. Kieran Harrison is going very slowly. He's not going to finish this lap, so that's him done for the session. Lolbus in the pits, Collis in the pits. Epione is, I think, currently on a flying lap. Yes, he is, but he's not got very much ERS left, so whether he completes this lap or not will be interesting to see. VSR Collis retires from the session. We did see him going into the pits there. So let's stay on board. Let's stay on board with Epione for the time being and see how he does. He's coming into the end of this second sector now. He's currently only 200ths off his provisional pace time. As I say, he's not got a lot of ERS left, but he shouldn't need too much, as he's going to be doing a lot of braking and lifting as he goes through this. Oh, that's a bit of a tap on the wall there. Is that gonna completely end his run? Let's have a look.
He's still pushing. He's still pushing. I don't think it's slowed him down one bit, but he's got to manage that ERS just a tad bit throughout this final corner.
Looking at the time, it's 31, 32, 33. I think that's... Oh, no, he has improved, but by a very, very small amount, and so stays in. There's a Sauber coming across the line. Not quite sure if they've actually improved on their time or not. Just trying to find someone who's out on a lap. We're on board with VSR Sohon. He's about to... complete a lap as well. Just keep an eye on the timing screens, as we're not potentially able to keep up with every single driver. VSR Seen is retired. He's clearly happy with his P4. He'll be starting on those Hypersofts then, as will the entire top 5 as it stands. Nameless coming across the line, and he's not improved. And Sohan's going to...
Look at the gap between Moeller, as Moeller comes across the line. Current pole sitter sets a new fastest time.
32.8. Very good lap. And that is the end of your qualifying session. So Muller flying in at the end there with a 32.8. Son up into 10th place, so he will be starting on those ultra soft tyres.
Matthias stayed in 6th.
Did he? Interesting. So that tactic, if that, as you say, that was his tactic, has not worked out that well for him.
So he's going to already start on 3-lap old tyres, and that will make him pit in like lap 5, unless he's banking on a...
So let's just quickly run. Sorry, Austin, let's cut you off. Let's just quickly run through the grid for your Singapore Grand Prix. Muller on pole, Nameless in P2, Mr. Anker P3, Seen P4, Kieran Harrison, Matthias, Hypers, VSR James, VSR THM, Sohon, Collis, new man to the league, Epione in 12th, Koldo, Nebula, AKE, and Marco Krisman not setting a time. I don't know if that was because of a quali ban or whatever, but he will be starting from the back of the grid in that Renault. So then I'm not quite sure if you guys got the opportunity to have a look at the drivers' standings, or at least I might have been talking over them, so let's have a very quick blast through them now. There are the drivers' standings on your screen. As you can see, Nameless is leading the way at the moment from his teammate Kimi Larson, Max Hypers, Muller James, who is, as I say, the Soviet Lolbus tonight, Matthias, Fly-by-Wire, Mr. Anker, and Seen. Of course, we lost Veloce James from the league, who would have been in 6th place with 102 points. Again, let's have a quick look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari 384 flying away as you would expect. Williams 195, Mercedes, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, McLaren, Sauber, Renault, Haas, and Force India at the bottom there. So, we're interesting to see how things go, particularly with those drivers on the Ultra Softs. Well, on the Hyper Softs even, I should say.
Yeah, as we were just waiting for everyone to come back. Sorry if you heard some construction noises in the back. That's my 2-year-old niece in the background.
It sounded like pots being banged together.
It was.
Well, there we go. That is why the action continues here as we get ourselves set up. Then let's have a look and see what tyres the drivers. I mean, unsurprisingly, most of the drivers who have free tyre choice have gone for the Super Softs. Though Collis and the Softs, I should say, the drivers who've had free tyre choice, though Collis and AKE have both gone for the Ultras.
Yeah, the Ultras, they have grip. The Softs are extremely slow around this track. It's a 2-compound difference, so there's no really misunderstanding why they went for the Ultras there. But those Softs are rock hard, but they're very slow around this track, and it's always a very confusing thing. But the first 3 and Kean Harrison are all on the Hyper Softs, which go away to like paper and fire or flash paper or just sugar and water, just dissolve immediately.
So I think we're expecting the Hypersoft runners to maybe go sort of lap 4, lap 5, and then take 2 more sets of Ultrasofts to go to the end of the Grand Prix. So maybe sort of take the Ultras to maybe lap sort of 17, lap 16, and then go to the end. So we're very interested to see how that plays out.
Also with Matthias, who, remember, qualified on 3-lap-old Ultrasofts that retired.
That is very true. So. Once again, just having a look at the strategy. So the Ultrasoft runners, we predict them to stop at around lap 9 to 11. And if the runners starting on softs, we expect them to stop at around lap 19 to 21.
I had a message on Twitter that wasn't for me. Okay, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I think I also stopped to read the same message. There we go then, the drivers are about... Oh, it's actually 31 laps. I got too excited. It's only 31 laps around this Singapore Grand Prix, but again, it is one of the longest races on the calendar as the drivers start to line up. We have VSR Muller in first, championship leader Nameless in P2. Will be hoping to get some points over his championship rival and also his teammate, Kimi Larsson, who is currently visiting our Lord High Master, Fizzy himself at the moment. They are getting friendly up in Norway. So Mr. Anker doing well to qualify in P3. We haven't seen him that high before, but we are going to have 5 red lights on your screen for the start of the Singapore Grand Prix, and we are away. Looks to be a great start by Nameless off the line. Let's see what's going to happen as they all fly into turn 1. Nameless going to look to take a move. Oh, is there something happening at the back? I'll have a look at that in a moment. Just focusing on the battle at the front at the moment. We can see the Ferrari is not actually been able to make that move work. He's currently sitting down in P2 as the Force India of Kieran Harrison looks to make a move on the outside of Scene. And there he goes. They're going side by side as we go down the straight towards the braking zone here on turn. I think this is turn 4. Scene's going to have the inside, but he has to concede it to Kieran Harrison. Austin, you said something happened at the start.
Yeah, they were 4 wide in the background. It looks like the Force India of Soren and THM collided together for a little bit. But look at Ake. He's trying to go for his 4th position up. He's challenging for Soren, but he's moved up 3 positions off the line. What a start by Ake.
Very good start. Yeah, he's currently up 3 places off the start. As you can see, it's been good for Marco Krisman as well, starting from the back, of course. He's up 2 places. Collis up into the top 10. And Kieran Harrison, as you saw on the stream, has already made a move for P5.
Ooh. Koldo just dive-bombed Nebula, I believe.
And that's put Marco Krisman all the way to the back there. I'm not quite sure. There's a little battle going on between the 3 of them.
He got ping-ponged by that move right there by Koldo.
I mean, what are we even racing or ping-pong? It is a fantastic question to ask as this stream continues. So then, VSR Muller has retained his lead from the start of the race. We have Nameless in P2, Mr. Anker P3, Kieran Harrison up 1 position into P4, Scene into P5, Matthias still holding that P6 for the time being. Hypers, I think, has he moved up off the line? I'm not sure, actually.
No, he hasn't. He
started in P7. Well done to him. Of course, there's Look at the tyres.
Definitely closing in.
He is indeed. Let's just get the just fiddling around with all the stuff here. It's been a while since I actually streamed properly, so just fiddling around with all the stuff here. So the gap at the moment is looking pretty tasty at the moment. Collis is very, very close to the man in front of him. Let's see what's going on here. He could well be looking to make a move on THM. THM holds the inside line as they go into the left-hander. Collis looking to try and make the switchback.
Oh, tank slapper right there. I was talking about it qualifying. There it is.
I mean, there's getting close to a wall, and then there's doing that. I mean,
yeah,
that was very, very close indeed.
A bit of fluid might have come out of him there, but I'm so glad he saved that.
That would have been an absolute disaster in his first race. Moving up from split 3 into split 2. He's holding his own at the moment.
He's definitely holding his own. His car is looking a bit unstable, but he is definitely following James very closely and trying to close in on him for P9. Hopefully he doesn't have any more of those tank slappers.
He would hope so, or if he does, he's able to save them like he did do just there. So the race is starting to actually spread out quite a little bit early on, of course. Singapore, not a track well known for its overtaking opportunities, due to the fact it's a street circuit, of course, but is, I'd say, on the wider side of the street circuits that we have in the calendar. So there may well be opportunities for overtaking, particularly with the 2 DRS zones as well. So we shouldn't be bereft of overtakes this evening.
Yeah, the overtakes on this track, not really known, as DRS is enabled right now, so we should start seeing some overtakes being made throughout the mid-pack right now, especially through ARL Hypers, who's extremely close to Matthias, who is on those 6-lap old Ultra Softs right now.
Yeah, that is very true. We're on board with Hypers now, and let's have a look. I don't think he's quite close enough to be able to make anything happen this time round, but maybe he's going to be certainly setting...
Oh, look at the background of Collis! I thought he was going to go for it again.
He did not quite on this occasion. I think he's a little bit early to set up moves. The drivers will just be sitting in the slipstream. They'll be getting close, but not quite close enough to be making moves. Just with one, they might need a couple of DRS runs at drivers before they make their moves, but certainly there are a few drivers setting up for moves potentially on the next lap.
Yeah, after the opening lap, no one's really changed for, his Nibley picked up a 3-second time penalty. No one's really swapped a lot of positions, but if you look at the tires, all the soft runners are in the back.
They are, and that is what we would expect, but they will be doing one less pit stop compared to the top 4. But you can see, if we have a look at the gap to the leader, there is quite a strong... They're all over 10 seconds behind after 3 laps.
Yeah, they are, and also, so they realize all the Hypersofts, top 4, all the Ultrasofts in the middle, last 4, all the softs. That is strangely...
It's just what you would expect, really, isn't it? As we go through this race.
Well done, Pirelli. Well done.
So let's have a look then, and have a look at who we could be thinking about sipping up a move. That's exactly who I'm going on board with right now. Looking at the back of Kieran Harrison, who's currently on those Ultrasoft tyres. Maybe his Ultrasofts are already starting to go off as Koldo picks up a time penalty there. Let's go on board with Scene. He's not quite there yet. He's about half a...
We're in a DRS train right now. Scene's got DRS, Kieran Harrison's got DRS, so he wouldn't have that much of an advantage because Mr. Anka is ahead of him. But he is sticking with the Ultrasoft, with those Ultrasoft tires on the Hypers. So on this preferred strategy with the 1-stop compared to the Hypersoft 2-stop, he is currently looking like a favorite to win this race.
At the moment,
he is pulling away from Matthias. He is on those 6-lap old tires, which is just insane. So Matthias definitely falling away from the back of Scene right there. And I'm surprised Matthias is still in 6th.
Well, it may only be a matter of time as Scene's getting very close now to the back of Kieran Harrison. Within 0.3 of a second, he may well be looking to set up a move in on the next lap. We'll have to stay on board with him to see if that happens. Collis picks up a 3. The time penalties are coming thick and fast already. It's not been very long into this race, and already I think 3 drivers have picked up 3-second time penalties. This is the thing. I mean, the cleanest drivers tend to win the races. So it'll be interesting to see whether these drivers can recover. And the first driver, Muller, I think that was a couple of drivers going in the pits already. That's VP Muller and Mr. Anker as well.
Yeah, 2 cars in the pits right now. So Nameless staying out, Keen Harrison in 2nd, and Scene is in 3rd. But remember, Scene is on those ultra soft tires. Keen Harrison on those hypersofts. And look at Keen Harrison just trying to find any grip on the track, extending his car, making it super wide. But Scene's got the run on Keen Harrison coming out of the DRS into the DRS thing. And this is going to be a drag race here in Singapore. Keen Harrison, no DRS assisted. He's going to dive down the inside. This should be clean. Yes, it is. Scene P2.
Scene P2. He's only been in the league for a short time, but he's already up in a P10 in the driver's standings and really helping out Renault with their points. Interesting. We said it was going to be a 2 ultra soft stint. Muller and Anker have both gone on the softs. Are they going to take the softs all the way to the end of this Grand Prix?
They could.
That may well be their intention.
It's going to be a long marathon. They might go onto the softs and then might switch onto the hyper softs at the very end. But they could carry those softs all the way to the end, but it's going to be an uphill battle all the way because Muller and Mr. Anker are sitting in last right now.
They are, and they are
10 seconds behind.
They are 25 and 28 seconds behind Nameless, respectively. And
Nameless is losing time to Scene.
He is. They're now, the gap is only now a second between the Ferrari and the Renault, of course. Remember the Ferrari on hypersoft tyres, Scene on the ultra soft, so Scene may well could be in with a great chance of winning this race as Nameless comes into the pits. Scene going right around the outside now as becomes your race leader. Quite a few of all the hypersoft drivers now have made making or have made their pit stops. Everyone's going on the softs, yeah. It is. We'll have to see how that plays out throughout the race.
Okay. No one's going to go for the double stop. Everyone's going to go try for the one stop. The one stop is quicker in theory, but if you're battling, you want to stay on those ultra softs because you can't really follow a lot in Singapore. But Nameless coming out in P14, but the pit lane doesn't end right there, and he comes out behind a Muller.
Oh, sorry, just to cut it across you there, the battle between Collis and THM for 5th place. The McLaren has gotten ahead of the Haas there. We just caught the end of that battle. That's 5th place for the McLaren, doing very well in his debut race here in Split 2, and is pulling away from the Haas as well.
Getting a nice helicopter shot. Well, I am. I'm watching THM right now.
I certainly am. I'm getting the same helicopter shot, I think, watching from VSR Collis' point of view.
Oh, nice. But THM following very close to Collis around that small hairpin as they rocket down this backstretch. Look at the cars in the background just trying to correct the oversteer. That was Ipany and Ake. Both of them a little tandem drifting right there. Ipany, the top soft runner.
Yeah, he's got ahead. He's got ahead of AK, interestingly, as well. So his soft tyres clearly working out okay for him. The Toro Rosso driver again. He also on his debut race in Split 2.
Yeah, it is. Ipany looking very good. Still leading ahead of Ake. 2.2 seconds behind of Soren and this little small train. But look at Collis just flying ahead of THM and the Force India. And he's looking at a lead on his own right now but from those two. He's already 1.3 seconds ahead of...
So I'm just having a look now at the battle for 2nd place, which is Maywell about to hot up. I'm having a look at the view of VSR James, or the Soviet LOL bus, as we should be calling him this round. Hypers Maywell have a look at his ERL teammate. He has a look around the outside, but pulls out of the move at the last minute, though he's always weaving about, just letting him know that he's there. Kieran Harrison in last place, unfortunately picks up a 3-second time penalty, but remember, of course, he has pitted already onto those soft tyres. Move for P10th, I believe is happening there. Koldo, oh, they're going side by side actually through this very close section. Look at that, the Haas and the Sauber going very, very close to each other, and that is...
Koldo rubbing his front wing on the back tires, no damage to his car, but those guys are incredibly close through there. That was a move by Nebula, and honestly, that's a risky area to make the move, but he made it work, and he made it cleanly.
He did, and that is... Oh, he's gone very deep, though. Koldo could be coming back at him. Oh, both drivers sliding all over the place. Let's have a look.
Nebula once again.
Sauer's going to dive it.
Koldo's going to dive down the inside.
Contact.
He's going to push him wide, but no, Nebula's going to get the power on it, and yes, he stays ahead. What a drive by the Haas right there.
Very good driving from the two of them, battling for this final point in the race as it stands. But let's have a look. Oh, Scene has just gone into the pits, I believe, on the ultra softs. That's quite an early. That's a very early stop for the Renault. A couple of drivers have come in. Very early stops then from Scene and from THM as well. Maybe there was contact between the two of them. I'm not quite sure, because this is very early for an ultra soft stop.
Well, I was watching the scene right there, and I don't think any front wing was replaced, but THM is sitting in the... Oh, there it goes. But yeah, that was very early on for those those ultra softs. We did say that they were going to last around 8 to 9 laps. These ultra softs. So if you try to go for the undercut like these guys did, maybe they see something in the strategy that we don't see. Rain probably. But
I mean, as you can see, there's currently quite a strong battle between the top three. All three of them inside a second. So maybe they're trying. Yeah, Matthias
he qualified on 3 laps old tires, so he's on like 10 lap old ultra softs right now, and so he's just carrying out the field. But Hypers might make a move at the very end of the straight or somewhere coming on through sector 3.
But I was going to say, maybe the ultra soft runners are trying to avoid this battle, or trying to come up, or just trying to find some clear air on track. As you can see, Scene and Kieran Harrison, they've not actually managed to do that really, as they've gone all the way behind Nameless and Mr. Anchor, and actually only about a second and a half behind them. The only thing to see if Matthias actually comes into the pits, just staying on board with Hypers at the moment. What will Matthias do? He comes...
Looks like Hypers is going to the pits, Matthias is also going to the pits, and now taking the lead is the Soviet Lolbus himself.
As he starts lap 9 in the lead. You just needed to say that, didn't you? In the lead of the Grand Prix is the Sauber driver, and the man currently in second.
Oh, there's a... Matthias was held up in his pit stall. I don't know what for, but his car was parked in the middle of the pit lane.
Oh, maybe it might be because his teammate came on the lap before. That can sometimes do you over in the pit stops. Just staying on board with IE Pioni right now, who's currently, as we say, the fastest running soft driver, and is 6 seconds ahead of AOR Nebula, the next driver on the softs. He could be one to watch. Actually,
because of course, one to watch. He's going on the reverse one-stop strategy, going for the longer stint at the front and then the shorter stint, the fastest stint at the very end. And honestly, when the track gets rubbered in, this track becomes electrifying to watch. And I believe that's what's Ipani's strategy right here, as he is closing in on the Soviet Lolbus right now. I'd say it again.
Yes, that lead is dropping by the 10th right now, down to under 6 seconds. As Koldo picks up another time penalty. We could be seeing drivers disqualified this evening due to excessive time penalties. We are picking up quite a few as this race goes on. On board with Marco Krisman, who is catching up to VP Koldo in the Renault car. He could well be shaping up to make a move at the end of this lap. But only 2 more drivers left on the Ultra Softs, and they may well both come into the pits at the end of this lap. But this is only the earliest time we'd expect them in. The strategy did say 9 to 11.
The Lolbus has made a stop into the pits.
Lolbus is in, and I expect AKE will also be in. But right now we're just focusing on this battle for what is going to be, as they come across the line, I think P3 and P4. Let's have a look. Can Marco Krisman get close enough to VP Koldo? This Nameless picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is not something that the championship leader will want, as of course he's got a fantastic opportunity this evening to increase his lead at the top of the standings.
As Mr. Ghost just said in the chat, it is very hard to travel very close to someone on this track. The dirty air produced by these cars is so hard to follow. That's why DRS is very favored for the overtakes here. But Marco Krisman unable to get close to Koldo on there. He's just going to have to follow as close as he can. But it's very hard to get moves done on this track with all the tight corners and close following here with all the dirty air.
So is it
luckily in 2019 we probably won't be having this situation.
Well, we'll have to see.
But that is for season 18.
That is. We'll have to see, of course. I have to see. Well, hopefully it'll be the same in real life as well. I'm going to the Silverstone. I'm going to the Silverstone Grand Prix this year, so hopefully I'll have a chance to see that in action. It'll be my first ever Grand Prix. Quite looking forward to it. It'll be the first ever time I've ever seen an F1 race live. So quite looking forward to that.
AOR at the track, I see.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see. So then, currently you can see the top 4 are the only drivers yet to make a stop. So Vias Omela has the sort of equivalent race lead at the moment. But the gap is 11 seconds. So you know, if Ipione can really stretch things out, I mean, he'd need to sort of have a 10-second lead. He'd slot into around about P9 or P10 if he came in now. But, of course, he does have time to stretch that lead out if he can with some clean air.
Yeah, and he's going to use this time to stretch his legs, let the field behind him work for Nameless. And Nameless just has to battle himself and put in some good laps to close in on Ipione, who's just got a monster of a lead to Nebula and Koldo right behind. Marco Chrisman still following Koldo right there, and he's actually got DRS on the non-DRS assisted, as well as Nameless, who's got DRS on Muller. But those two original leaders, poles 1 and 2, they had the work cut out for them, and Ipone's got a second race after this. He's going to go into the pits and fit on the fastest tires. As we got an overtake for sign to Mr. Anka. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you saw that.
Just catching the end of it now, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Anka dived up where Ink dived up, and I think Scene was going to try to move on the outside, but through the Singapore...
Through the X Singapore sling. There you go, to stop yourself there. We don't have this. We don't have the Singapore sling anymore. But I
got very hyped right there because I thought I was about to see something I've never seen before.
But no, Scene is very keen to try and get this move done on Mr. Anka, both from the land of Finland, both known for making very precise driving, but also from the terms of Scene, very aggressive driving as well.
Yeah, it's a yellow soft field right now, but different tire lives for everyone, and I'm so glad I have.
Oh, is that Mr. Anka just hitting the wall there? Sorry to cut across you, Austin. I think Mr. Anka just had quite actually a big scrape with the wall, and it looks like again as well. Not coming into the pit, so damage clearly not that bad, but that could enable Scene a great chance.
I believe he's missing an end plate.
Does he? Okay, that could enable Scene to make a great chance.
No, he's not.
At making a move. Okay, Austin getting very excited there. It is very hard to tell in the night conditions, particularly with a car as dark blue as the Red Bull.
It's camouflage, honestly, but Scene's definitely going to have a run right here. And speaking of runs, Muller might be having a run, but I think that's his camera playing tricks on me.
Here comes Scene's going to come to the inside line. He's going to dive it up the inside.
Got it.
Very nicely done from Scene. And Muller is also making a move on Marco Chrisman. The Renault going up the inside, trying to make a move on the Mercedes. Goes around the outside, and Nameless is going to be in this as well now. He's going to try and have a look, but he's no... Or is he going to try and do a Scene and make a move through here? No, he's not. Holds back for the time being.
Marco Chrisman did go extremely wide, but Muller being very aggressive on that move, being very opportunistic on Marco Chrisman, making that move. 4P4. Now it's up to Nameless to follow Muller's footsteps, and he's going to send it up the inside right here.
Nameless goes to the move up the inside. The Ferrari, the current championship leader, is trying to make the most, as I say, of the fact that his championship rival is not here, and so moves himself up into 5th place for the time being, which would give him 10 fat championship points if things stayed as they are.
I must say that his championship rival is here. He's just in the chat.
Oh, is he? Hello, yeah. Kimmy. How are you? Is Kimmy enjoying the land of Norway? As we say that, though, very interesting. Marco Chrisman on 11-lap-old softs lets his teammate go. We don't often see that kind of teamwork from AOR drivers, as they are ultimately fighting for their own races. But as we can see, Mr. Anka also making a move on the Red Bull there. Very interesting stuff from Marco Chrisman, letting his teammate go, putting up more of a fight against the Red Bull, but Scene is absolutely flying at the minute.
Yeah, Scene on rocket power, some might say, as looks like Mr. Anka, he's not going to have any challenge from Marco Chrisman, who is on some old tires, but those softs are falling off right now, according to him. He might have some front wing damage.
Speaking of that, let's have a look at Muller, who's now right on the back of Koldo, who is the first of those guys who hasn't pitted yet on those older soft tyres. So VSR Muller could well be in the fight here. To be fair, Muller... Oh, Koldo hits the wall on the inside of the hairpin. That's going to allow Muller a great run here at going past him there. He's going to go round the outside. Is he going to be... Who's going to be the last of the late breakers?
Side by side. Oh, there's a little bit of lockup from Koldo, but look at Nameless. He might take a little jump on this. This is a three-way fight. Koldo, Muller, Nameless. as they're side by side through this right-hander. Koldo is pushing Muller off the track, but he's holding off the position. I'm surprised there's not a penalty for Muller right there, as if there was going to be some words after this race. So this little train of 4 cars is great to watch right here. So we're definitely going to have a fight coming down onto the front straight, but Koldo lives to fight another day on these 12-lap-old soft tires, about to be 13-lap-old soft tires. Right there they are. And Muller just sticking behind of Koldo, just trying to find his move into the first few corners. This has a name, but I completely forgot about it.
Oh, there he is,
though. There he goes.
Oh, he might have a chance now. He's going to hold it. I think he's going to back off for this. He's not going to back off for this corner. He's going to try and go around the outside. I thought he was going to back off and wait for the DRS, but this could be a double overtake here. Muller goes to the inside. Nameless is going to have a look as well. Is he going to be able to follow him through? The Ferrari, the Mercedes goes through around the outside. The Ferrari's going to try and do the same thing. He's going to have the inside line for this corner. He's going to try it. Oh, Koldo leaves him no room. And the door is firmly shut on the Ferrari.
Wow. You know, if I was Nameless right now, I'd be shouting all the time, you have to leave the space. But
I'd be shouting worse than that, I'm not going to lie to you. But let's have a look then.
This is a family-friendly stream, and I'm just going to keep it as family-friendly as I could.
You can, but let's have a look then. So, from the angle of scene, is Nameless going to have a look then at VP Koldo at the end of this straight?
Here
he is.
Sniffing.
Woohoo! The door's shut again. No way through for the Ferrari on that occasion. This is where the action is right now in this stream. Though, crucially, Muller is not really closing on Ipioni at the moment. The gap is still 12.5 seconds. Perhaps because he's trying to get through all of this traffic, though he is now free of VP Koldo. So have a look on, keep an eye on that gap. Maybe it will start to close down. But Koldo could be in trouble here unless he pits at the end of this lap, which he doesn't. So Nameless is going to have a go at him, I would imagine, down the next DRS straight. Let's be ready for that. Let's get on board with the Ferrari.
You know, look at the car behind Nameless. Remember what Marco Crispin did. He let Scene through. Scene has joined this battle. And down this front straight, you might see Scene go for a double overtake if he gets both draft off these cars.
That is why we're going to go on board with the Renault right now as we go down this straight. Is Nameless close enough to make a move on VP Koldo? He goes for the inside.
Oh, easy move by Nameless right there. Scene getting extremely close to Koldo right there. Scene going around the outside move, just having to get his front wing free of Koldo's back end right there, just trying to find anything, but Nameless taking P4. Scene looking like he can take P5 right here if he wants to. He is oh no, he's going to try this spot.
That is it brave or stupid? I'm not quite sure. But either way, Scene for the time being has to settle for P6. But look behind him actually as the camera is showing how close Mr. Anchor is now behind, and this is now not a battle of a few cars, it's a battle of quite a lot. As Scene goes to the outside, lock up from Koldo. Scene's going to be there, he's going to try and... Oh, contact with the Sauber! And now, oh, that's Mr. Anchor through!
What the heck is going on?
Mr. Anchor's like, cheers, pal, I'm going to go straight around the outside of all of that. And I just can't keep up with going on. So Nameless is now in 4th place, Mr. Anchor's 5th, Koldo's still holding 6th, Scene hasn't gained anything. There's an absolute Koldo train going on of about 75,000 cars. Koldo is just trying to hold his position, and he's continuing to carry on. This is incredible. This is why the strategies are so good around here. And as you can see, Koldo is predicted to go on for another 5 more laps. On the inside, Scene's had to brake check himself. There's no way through that time. There's going to be so many overtakes going to be made. Look at the cars sliding through that corner. Mr. Anchor is now free to go and catch up to Nameless right now. But let's have a look. Is Scene going to have the opportunity this time? He's actually a little bit far back from Koldo. He may even be in trouble from Kieran Harrison. Let's have a look. Is he that close to Scene?
Kieran Harrison trying for a move. Collis also trying for a move in the back field right there. No one actually gaining anything. Koldo slamming on the brakes extremely hard for that corner. Starting up the Koldo train once again, but that line, that entire Sector 3, that was jaw to the floor stuff, and I had the biggest grin in the world right there. As Scene's trying to close it in on Koldo and get past him. He's been a thorn in his side. Well, this entire race.
Just have a look at the gaps right now. So Mr. Anchor is 16 seconds off the lead, and then VSR THM in 14th is only 5 seconds behind him. And now is seen finally going to have a go around the outside of this corner with Koldo on the inside. This time they don't make contact, and the move is finally made. But Kieran Harrison also fending off ERL Matthias there as well. This is just, Koldo is making the stream right now for us.
Thank you, Koldo, Defense Master. I don't know if it's the cleanest thing, but thank you. Also, thank you for the spirit invites.
We're not quite in need of them yet. Let's touch every piece of wood there is around you. So let's have a look then. So Scene has finally got himself free of the Koldo train and can go to chasing the leaders. But as I say, Muller, he's not eroding into this lead as quickly as I thought he would. It's still hovering at around 11 seconds to Ipioni at the moment.
They're on the same compound of tires, so you wouldn't expect monster amounts of gaps being chunked in there, but there is a little advantage with tire wear, so he has more confidence that he can chunk it. But those tires going to the end of the race. Ipioni's tires been going this entire race, and he's going to have the last, I think about lap 21, he's going to pit for these ultra soft tires and just charge through the field, honestly. It
depends how fast those ultra soft tires are at the end of the Grand Prix. Hypers, though, possibly having a look at Marco Krisman, but again, he's not seen. He's not going to try and make a move through there as Marco Krisman picks up a 3-second time penalty once again. There's only 27 seconds separating the whole field, which just shows how close the racing is in this split.
Oh, Kieran Harrison making a move on Koldo, diving up the inside, not going to go for the outside, maybe he's going to send it up the inside, pushes Koldo out of the way. There's a bit of tire rubbing going on right there, but Kieran Harrison taking P7. And now Matthias comes up to the plate against Koldo. I don't know if there's something wrong with Koldo's car or if he's just not a fan of this track, but he is definitely making the overtakes stream.
I think it's more that, oh, Matthias has gone very... That's going to be a time penalty for Matthias. He's absolutely...
Not on the track.
No, he's created his own corners there. That's a Tiamat Marduk-inspired line through there. And now let's have a look then. As they come across the line, there's about 8 cars in the same camera shot. I think that's very rare to happen.
That's a record.
Yeah, I think, well, we'll have to check it up with Dan. I think it might well be a record. But then, let's just have a look at what is going on throughout the field. Austin, do interrupt me if there are any major battles I need to go to. But
I'll stay on board with Matthias.
Currently in the lead of the Grand Prix is Ipioni. In second is the Haas of AOR Nebula. Third is VSR Muller, just under 10 seconds.
Oh, hype it up, Hyper's sending it up the inside of Marco Krisman. Marco Krisman holding it around the outside, but Hyper's going to try to send it around the outside. And he's got the inside move now. Hyper's, I think he's got it coming onto this long straight. Yes, he does. Hype Energy is hyping it up right now for the Williams driver of Hypers, and as well, James, the Soviet Lobo, sends it through the Singapore Sleet up the inside, and he gets it for P11.
Unbelievable racing in the middle of this pack. I was highly surprised that I would not be able to go through that entire rundown of the field without being interrupted. But as you can see, Nameless now still about 2 seconds off the pace of Muller. Mr. Anker about 4 seconds further back. And then we have the absolute train of... I'm getting there. Give me a minute. Matthias is there. Oh my God, they're going side by side. This is not what I would have expected.
Not through here. Please, no. I want to see everyone finish on this track.
As I say, we saw Marco Krisman get out of the way earlier for his Renault teammate. Matthias and Hypers, both ERL drivers, but there's no love lost here between the two of them, absolutely clearly, as they're about to start what is lap 19 for these guys. And again, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars in the same shot as we go through the...
8 was also in there.
Oh, I counted him as the 8th car, but either way. Koldo still at the head of this train now in 8th place. Matthias in 9th, Hypers in 10th. Let's see what happens then as we go down this DRS straight from the point of view of Hypers. Is Matthias close enough to Koldo to make a move? I don't think he is. And
yes,
no, he is. He's diving late. Oh, contact again between the two of them. The Red Bull does come off better though. Oh, and Koldo goes in as well.
There's retaliation from Koldo. He's hit the back end of
whatever you can do, I can do as well. And now let's have a look. Is Hypers going to be close enough? He's going to go for the inside as they... Oh no, he's backed out of it. He's not absolutely crazy. We do have yellow flags in Sector 2. Not quite sure what has happened there. Nothing obvious comes to mind.
It's Ake. Ake has lost his front wing.
Oh no, that's devastating. devastating. Just a small contact with the wall. Yeah, just a small contact there with the wall. Let's get back on board with this battle for P10 as Hypers goes at the inside of Koldo. Not quite able to get that moved on.
Lobos trying to defend on his teammate. Hypers swipes across his front wing saying, back off. But the Soviet Lobos try to go around. Or as you start saying James now, to stop confusing people. Oh,
interestingly, up at the top now, we have, AOR Nebula has gone into
the pits.
Yeah, Nebula's gone into the pits. The first of those drivers who've yet to pit has gone in, which promotes Muller and Nameless up to P2, and all these guys will obviously promote up the field as the Haas driver enters the pits. Oh my word, what is Collis doing? He's going everywhere. He's trying to make a move on the inside of Marco Krisman. Is he going to make that stick? Not quite.
No.
As he joins the...